Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are going into our last game set of the night. I'm the forecourt jester. With me over here, the Gillyweed, and of course, the Jake. It's good to see you nerds again. Yeah, the Jake.
That's quite the title.
You've been promoted, what can I say? But congratulations, today we've gotten through quite a bit of stuff. You saw some Gillian deeds, we saw some really good montages. It's been a fantastic day for Heroes.
Indeed, it has been fantastic. And we are going to have one match left. This is a very important one because it's Luminosity Gaming versus Cognitive Gaming. Luminosity is finally here. We finally get to see them. It's the Canadian team, our only Canadian team. But whereas COG has already qualified, and it would be okay if they got out here, Luminosity, their tournament life is on the line.
Yeah, I got to be with my Canadian brethren on this one. I'm really happy that they're here, Jake, but they did not play up against Tempo Storm, so they kind of been robbed me of a game. I don't like that.
Now, if you're just tuning in, basically what's happened is Goku from Luminosity was experiencing some power outages. His entire city was out of power due to weather conditions.
Wow.
So they had to forfeit their upper bracket match. But fortunately, later in the day, 6-7 hours later, their power is back on. They're ready to bring it back, but they're up against COG. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it is. Now, Cognitive, of course, has already been into the seeding position, so they're basically just fighting for tournament life. And I think it was you that mentioned that they want to crush the hopes and dreams of some of these nerds coming in. This is their kind of last chance to do it, because if they don't continue on, they didn't crush anybody's dreams.
They're fraudulent.
They're fraudulent dream crushers. Yeah, and you don't want to be known as that anywhere in any esports at all. So.
Well, we want to know what you guys think. You haven't seen Luminosity play yet, but you have seen COG, so you can still tweet with the hashtag HeroesWC using the hashtag of whatever team you think is going to take this last series of the day.
It's going to be Luminosity. You can just tell them that Jester said that. But, while we are kind of just having some fun here, of course, we do got to give some love to our sponsors as well, because the Heroes of the Storm North American Road to BlizzCon, we're brought to you by the official hardware partners of Gigabyte and NVIDIA. Big love to them. We've actually been giving away some cards, and I believe we have some new victors here.
Yeah, we got two nerds actually just won themselves some GTX 950. It's going to be Brian Petrick and Ben Thomas. They have won themselves the GTX 950 graphics cards, and if you want to win one yourself, just head on over to esl.gg/AugustNAOpen. Good luck, have fun, and may the best nerd win.
So that's actually a bit of quite a few cards have been given away today. We're giving away more tomorrow, so make sure that you guys enter that, because who doesn't like free stuff, guys?
I don't.
You don't like free stuff?
I do love
What's
free
wrong?
stuff.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I was scared for a moment there.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to say to that.
Yeah, me neither. But you know what? I've been told that the draft is going, so we're going to say that, and we're going to jump into the draft of this game number 1. We are once more going to Dragonshire.
All right, well, this battleground, we have seen Hammer resurface here today. We can really cross our fingers and hope for that to happen once more.
Crossing my toes on that.
Oh, wow, that's impressive. Well, I don't want to think about that, but we're going to think about this Zeratul being banned out.
Yep, Zeratul is definitely part of that Power 5 right now. Leoric looks like it's going to be the counter here, Gilly. So, Luminosity, first pick. Could it be a Siege Sister?
I don't know. We have yet to see Luminosity play, but when we saw them play in the Open, it was very standard stuff, so I'm no surprised.
Siege Sister!
It's no surprise, yeah. To see one of the Siege Sisters, it's not quite the one you want, but it is Zagara.
Well, hey,
I'll take it.
Sister has to have another sister to be a sister, so yeah, we'll take the Zagara
That's
first.
Science.
Definitions too. It's good. But Kael'thas is going to be coming in. What do you think for a last round pick here, Cog?
Well, Leoric is already gone. Jaina is available, but we haven't seen a lot of that. I mean, they could definitely still prioritize Uther early in the draft.
Yeah, they absolutely could. I would definitely go with an Uther on this, because it is kind of the last pick that they get before those bans come in. But no, it's going to be a Johanna. Could we be setting up for an Asmodan?
I would love to see that, but Cognitive are saying, okay, finally we see a non-Johanna ban at the beginning, so they're going to capitalize on that. They're grabbing her, and we'll see if maybe they at least, if they're not thinking of Asmodan, are trying to at least make Luminosity think that they are enough to use their ban on him.
Yeah, all right. That's not the worst pickup, but there is Uther. Uther's, of course, very powerful support. We've actually seen him just rise in popularity with the changes to Cleanse because of how strong that Divine Shield is, and Murden for that tank. The Warrior, they actually have a very well-rounded, diverse composition that's not committing to any specific style at all.
Yeah, it's a pretty neutral, but a very safe start here from Luminosity. And now Cognitive going in with another set of bans. If they don't want to run a Jaina, they could absolutely ban a Jaina here instead, because she's kind of gotten all the way through here to the second phase.
Yeah, I would love the Jaina. It's actually going to be Tyrande, and it makes a lot of sense. The Muradin Tyrande, Storm Bolt into the Lunar Flare, just stun after stun, even adding Uther's stun to it with the Hammer of Justice. That could be a lot to deal with for Cognitive. So they're going to take that Muradin Tyrande, I think you call it Miranda combination out. But Malfurion is going to be the ban on the side of Luminosity.
And credit where credit's due, that's Zoya that came up with Miranda, so I cannot steal that.
Oh, that was so nice of you to give credit to the silent partner here. But, Malfurion has a ban out there. Luminosity is basically forcing the hand of Cognitive to go into that Rhaegar. And, well, I mean, no surprise. We've been seeing a heck of a lot in Nazebo this weekend, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, just the changes they made to Ravenous Spirit from the deep, a new option available at level 13. Even though Nazebo lost Sprint, he is so much better. The Spiders, he's just so strong right now. And I'm loving this pickup. Zombie Wall plus Condemn. Can never count that out.
Oh, snap!
There he is. Finally, we've heard tales of Illidan in the bans, at least from Cloud9, but finally Cognitive have picked up Illidan. I've seen Cognitive do this quite a few times, and we're going to actually take a look at Illidan. And you guys refer to him, I believe, as the janitor, and that's because he just cleans up. He cleans up the fights, and he comes in. He's got dive and sweeping strike. It's very difficult to get away from him, as he will just chase people down and take them out.
Sweeping strikes. I don't know why that's not an image of a broom, but he is the janitor.
No, I'm going to give the credit to Jake and Kubi on that one. But yeah, the sweeping strikes that come in. We do typically see more metamorphosis. I know Babel really wanted to see the hunt, but I'm not quite sure that's in the cards. We have to see what's up the sleeve here of Cognitive for the last few rounds of picks. But this is a first for us. The last game series of the day, finally a first for Illidan.
And this is a weird scenario. Like, you look at their comp, it's like, wow, Abathur would be amazing, Illidan and Johanna, but they don't have a support. So it's pretty unlikely that we'll see something like that. We have seen teams attempt to run supportless compositions similar to this. Really don't think that's going to be the case in this battleground right now.
Well, Luminosity's going to get a Vala and a Jaina to end things off. Triple ranged, Gilly.
That is a lot of damage that Luminosity is going to be putting out. And Illidan's Glaurung, I'm assuming, will play the Illidan. He's got to be a little careful with that now, because if he gets too far forward, there's a lot of stuns. Then there's slows on top of it from the Jaina. That could be a problem for them. But Cog have one more pick now, and most likely we're going to see a support. What do you think, Malfurion or Rhaegar?
Well, the Malfurion's banned, so I'm going to go with Rhaegar.
Oh, yeah, it is banned.
Just one more thing I want to point out that's going to make Illidan very difficult to capitalize on in this battleground is the fact that Muradin can grab Reverberation, and that really helps deal with other tech heroes like him in particular. It was going to be tough, but Ancestral Heal could be what the doctor ordered.
Well, I don't think we've actually seen a Reverb build today. I think every single time it's been Frostbolt. Wow, Stormbolt.
But if there's ever been a case to grab Reverb, it's definitely against Illidan.
Absolutely. I cannot go up against that, especially, you're going to have the Illidan there, the Rhaegar, Johanna. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of big value out of them, because it's going to slow all their auto attacks and all their movement speed a little bit later on as well.
Well, don't forget we have a Twitter poll for this series. You guys should definitely tweet using the hashtag HeroesWC and the name of the team you think is going to take it. If you're liking the Cognitive pickup of Illidan, it would be your time to let them know with that.
Yep, absolutely. So, last thoughts here, Jake?
You know what? Illidan's weird. Let's go for it. I can't wait to see it unfold.
All right, let's see if these guys are going to get weird. But Luminosity Gaming, the Canadians coming into it. Finally, some screen time. Matra coming in for that Uther. We got Goat on Vala, Goku on Jaina. We got Hosty there on Zagara, and Bossfloss on our Muradin.
Bossfloss is such a fun Muradin player, but their opponents, they're pretty formidable. Cognitive Gaming with Glaurung, of course, playing Illidan. Hospital will be on Kael'thas, Iakona on Rhaegar, Sylal playing Johanna, and rounding it out will be Nazebo, played by Shot.
Oh man, Shot. Wasn't he your favorite player, NA?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Just take it. All right, cool. So, a little bit of a 5-man in the mid. We're just trying to feel out what Cognitive is going to be doing here in the early game, and now we're going to be splitting off. There's not going to be a lot of experience lost between the teams, but the 4-man death ball is going to be rotating back and forth between the mid and the bottom, and I mean, that's a heck of a lot of the wave players. They got the Jaina in there, they got the Vala. It's definitely going to be doing work.
Yeah, it absolutely will, and it makes a lot of sense for them to do that. We see a lot of pro teams do this, as it kind of forces their opponents to normally not be so aggressive, but they're looking for it, they're waiting for it. Matra taking a whole bunch of damage. Glaurung is forward, though, and also getting damaged by Goku. Will be able to to get away. They're not going to continue the chase.
Yeah, Goku was really looking for a shot there at the end, but couldn't quite line up that crossbolt. So it looks like Illidan will live to fight another day for now. Silo into the bottom. Looks like he's going to try to just push as hard as he can, but Goku's on top of it. They're not really going to miss out too much here. Going back and forth. Looks like the specialists have been left into the top lane. Probably not a huge amount is going to be going down there. It's Zagara versus Nazeebo guild.
Right, they're just going to be hanging out, probably trading blows, but it's all going to mostly even out. Both have a really good lane presence here. For now, though, Zagara is going to try to move up and take that top shrine. A really strong presence in the mid lane means there wasn't really a concern of Cognitive getting a super early Dragonite there, but there is a concern that Glaurung will get taken out.
Well, not if that arrow kind of goes wide as it did. This Blizzard didn't actually hit either, but I'm not entirely too sure if Glaurung remembered that he was on the red side, because he went off to the left a little bit, kind of sealed his own fate right there. But hey, first takedown of the day, and it's going to go over to Luminosity.
Well, we'll see if the Cognitive can bring it back a little bit, as both of the shrines are being hotly contested here. But in the bottom lane is where the big presence has been from them so far. Goku once again pushing back Johanna here. Both teams picking up level 4. Look, Colossal Totem pickup for Rhaegar.
Ooh, now that's something we'll talk a little bit about in conjunction with Illidan a little bit later on when the build is fleshed out. But I'm looking, it is going to be the Reverberation build, so good on you, Jake. You called it. We also got the Hungry Arrow build being set up there, and the decent amount of frost coming out from our Jaina as well. We saw some Frostbolt builds a little bit earlier, but we do have the level 4 Blizzard there instead.
Yeah, more standard stuff from Jaina than we have seen earlier today. But once again, these teams very, very close here. Shot, though, has taken a lot of damage from Hosty. Glaurung coming in trying to save the day. Will not get there in time, but Hosty should fall down here. Living Bomb is on him, and it will take out Zagara.
Yeah, bug bait for dinner right there. But here comes Boss Flash and Goku as well. They're looking for Hospital. That's going to be the stun, and Boss Flash will be able to seal the deal for the return. That was actually ending up a 2-for-1 by the end of it for Luminosity. And overall, they have taken a bit of an edge in the experience, a little bit more of a lead, a few more takedowns to their name. No dragons quite yet, but ooh, that's a double blue now.
It is Silo in bottom. It's not a concern anymore, but the rotations from Luminosity have been very good here. They've been able to get a few more takedowns because of that, and they're putting Cognitive on the back foot. Like I mentioned, by moving between that mid and bottom, they kind of force Cognitive to stay back, and actually, Goat's going to come in here. Hammer of Justice onto Glaurung into the Blizzard. He will be able to get away. Silo Condemn, pulling everyone back, allowing Glaurung that space to get away. That looked a little dicey for Cognitive.
I actually thought Goat got onto the point, but maybe got shoved off, or just, the game engine took an extra second. Like, no, maybe not. But geez, yeah, right down to the wire. And they call it. It's just like, all right, Illidan's been missing. And this is something that Cognitive can do with that Illidan as life goes on. He can just solo out a lot of these Merc camps. He can do those Bruisers, no problem. He can do the Siege Giants, no problem. If he's ever missing, you got to go looking for him.
Yeah, once he picks up that Immolation at 4, that's when he really is able to go off Merking by himself. But both teams are level 7 now. Gidbin picked up for Nazeebo. The Shield Glare sends exposed there, so looking to do more damage with the Johanna versus something like a Battle Momentum.
Yeah, and as we said a little bit earlier, Jaina a little bit more standard this time. We got the Piercing Bolt coming out from our Mirrodin, the reset on the arrow for the Qs, because Vala, if she is going to get hunted down by the Illidan, she really wants to make sure she can duel that out, go for the 8 arrows, perhaps even 12 a little bit later on, but she's going to be good with the tumble for now. We do got Cleanse on both sides yet again.
Oh, Shot is in trouble. No Cleanse here to save him from the slows. Nazeebo will fall, and Silo is going to pick up this bottom shrine, but this is a little bit of a power play for Luminosity, and because of these takedowns that they've been able to get, they are slowly inching ahead. They're nearly a level ahead of Cognitive now.
Now, going back and forth, Zagara, where is the creep spread? Well, it's getting pretty controlled there, not only by the Johanna, but as well Glaurung right here. He's manaless. He just has a 6-second cooldown to follow up on it. Once he gets that immolate, he just find it. This leads me to believe we're not going to see Burning Rage on Johanna.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing a really good job already of being able to take down those creep tumors, and it's not endless creep, so it's pretty easy to be able to tell where the creep tumor will be. It can get a little tough to do that when you have that endless creep, as it really spreads even farther.
All right, looks like all of Canada showed up for the vote. 56%. Luminosity looking good in the polls, and so far, again, edging out in experience, edging out in those takedowns. They are about to hit the level 10 mark. They haven't really edged out in the mercenary department. 3 camps now going over to red, but at the same time, here we go. this could be a good window in order to try to solidify Dragon. That's not a shield. That is a Divine Storm, my friend.
Oh, it is. Divine Storm picked up as well as Strafe, Avatar, Water Elemental, and the Devouring Maw, and that is pretty cool to see by Luminosity. How do you think they're going to try to make that Divine Storm work? Is it for the Illidan?
Yeah, it feels a heck of a lot like it. I mean, Joanna's going to be in there, and if they catch her without that Iron Skin, she will actually get hit by that stun as well. But as I said, earlier on, there's going to be 3 melee. You can get a lot of value with the Reverberation, but now you might actually see a lot of value coming out of that Divine Storm. I mean, all Uther has to do is just kind of walk right into them or have them walk right into him. But at the same time, it's not a talent we see a heck of a lot of these days.
Yeah. I cannot remember the last time I've seen Divine Storm, but I'm really excited to see how they can capitalize on that. But it does require Uther to get pretty far forward with that in his positioning. So is that something that maybe we could see Cognitive try to capitalize on?
I don't foresee it with just kind of blindly running into the teams. I mean, you can't cast it upon death anymore. Once upon a time, that was just the most silliest thing I could have actually asked for. But hey, it won games, so people did it. But you can't do it anymore. So every time we're going to have Illidan go in, I suspect there's going to be an Uther just trying to stick to him, not only with the stun, but then the Divine Storm. Later on, we're going to see Benediction, another stun. If they can control down Illidan, especially with a lot of the nerfs going forward to Cleanse, he can't actually become the unstoppable beast he once was.
We haven't seen an Illidan a lot, but it does seem interesting that that is the melee assassin that Glaurung has decided to pick up here. What do you think it is that he's bringing back to the table for that team?
Well, we've already seen him kind of leave the lane a little bit. He's gone off into doing some mercenary camps. We've seen him part of some of the ganks. He's held down the lane a little bit, but past level 10, it's all going to be about getting into the back line with the Metamorphosis. He's going to be popping the first aid. You're going to be looking for some big heals from the Rhaegar by the end of it, but the big key is that he can actually be stunned out of a lot of the stuff now. So we're going to have to see past level 10 as we're back into it. Phoenix is going to be with the Gargantuan. It is going to be the Metamorphosis, the Ancestral Healing, and the Shields. So if we can get his Shields into a big meta, he might be that backline warrior they need, but there's a lot of crowd control against him.
Oh, Condemn did go down, and Illidan very, very low. Ancestral Heal will bring Glaurung back up. Matra taking damage, so did Goat. Goat had to leave this fight. Then Devouring Maw is going to pull in a member from Cog. They're trying desperately to catch somebody, either Glaurung or somebody in the Maw, but won't be able to do so.
So even if, let's say they do take down that Illidan by the end of it, and they didn't this round, he's still soaking quite a few skill shots. It's going to be a lot of stuns, a lot of ultimates. I mean, you saw him just get really, really burned very quickly right there, and he had to exit the fight. But then we also have that Maw. A little bit of a better placement of Maw might be the better follow-up, but right now he's basically just a giant sponge for a lot of these shots here. But, oh, that sponge or not, he's about to overflow, and he's probably going to pop. There he goes. Illidan will drop to that last shot there from Goku, but now it looks like they're going to go right on top of Silo.
They're going after Johanna. The Hammer of Justice is there. She is out of mana. It's going to be difficult for her to do anything, and in fact, Strafe will ensure that they pick up the takedown on her too. Now, 2 people down already. Yep. The shrines have been picked up by Luminosity. Can they pick it up in time? No. Shot will be able to rotate around just in time to get that top shrine.
Yeah, Luminosity threw everybody that they could into the bottom lane in order just to get those takedowns, but they did sacrifice that mid control, so not quite a dragon yet. In fact, we haven't seen a single one to date, but we are about to hit the level 13 mark, and that's going to be huge for Luminosity because then we should have enough pressure to either put down a fort or look to secure that dragon.
Yeah, Hosty is trying to go up to that and be able to take that shrine there. In the bottom, though, we're having Glaurung and Iakona move in, but Goku and Matra are all here. There is the Metamorphosis, Water Elemental trying to slow him down, trying to deal the damage. Tim ensures that Uther will be taken out here. Luminosity have got to step back.
Yeah, that was actually a fantastic Metamorphosis. Because not only did it get Glaurung out of the line of fire between that the chills and the water elementals and everything, but it got him into a great position for the body block, and that's how they took down that Uther right there. So they get that takedown, they are going to smash right through that gate. The Gargantuan's going to be sucked back down to wherever he came from, and now we're seeing huge pressure into the bottom lane. But at the same time, Luminosity's been putting the irons to this top lane, and they are still maintaining control of the shrine.
But remember that level lead for Luminosity? Cognitive with that takedown and with taking out those 2 towers. They're back in it. They're neck and neck in experience. They've both both picked up their 13 talents. Do you see anything particularly interesting in them?
Chain Bomb, Ice Block, we do got the Healing Surge coming in once more. Johanna did actually opt to go for the Burning Ridge by the end of it, so they're not just going to be relying on that self-immolation from our Illidan players. So either way, I mean, that's still going to be a lot of AoE damage just from proximity. That's not looking good. There's the stun. The stun train taking Illidan to station. And wow, they just got destroyed. And the creeps reject.
Yeah, all of Illidan's hard work, Luminosity came in and said, yeah, thank you for these. We'll go ahead and take it from here. And they're going to push in with these bruisers. Tower's already down here in the bottom. We've got a super strong presence here with several more members. They're saying, Dragon Knight, no thank you. We'll just take your 4 instead.
Yeah, this is a slightly strange game. Nobody's gone at all for Dragon. Now both sides are just pushing opposite ends of the match. We have that strafe going up. That's going to be clutch. Itakura will actually get out of that one, but still, that fort not going to be lasting too much longer. Cog is going a bit too far forward. He is going to have to use that ice block, but now you got Goat down there. Batcha can't quite get the stun, but will the slow be enough? It is. Nazebo is going to drop, and now Glorong's back into the fray, and I don't think they're going to have enough to save out Goku.
There is the ice block, but what? It's just biding his time. Goku does get a heal, trying desperately to slow them down. No, they will be able to take out Jaina, but Glaurung is not done yet. He's metamorphosized in. He's going after Goat, who has thrown the Hungry Arrow, trying desperately to siphon health away there, but no, it is going to be enough that we might have a turnaround once again as they're going after Glaurung. And yes, so many stuns. He's not getting out of that. Great baiting there by Luminosity.
Glaurung got way too greedy. Again, like without these cleanses going in, without those unstoppable frames anymore, Illidan can be controlled. And so far, Luminosity is controlling him very well. On the back of that, it's going to be level 16, which we're going to have a heck of a power bump right now for Luminosity. It's only 15 and a bit here for Cognitive, but as well, remember what I said a little bit earlier. If Illidan's off the map, you go looking for him. That's how all that happened. That's how they lost out the bottom lane, and now he tries to overextend to get that takedown, goes down, they lose out the map presence, and here's the first dragon.
Yeah, those respawn timers, as they get longer, it's harder and harder to try to stop somebody from picking up a dragon when it's 4v5, and that's exactly what happened here. Luminosity now have it. Gravity Labs is going to stop it for a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Towers instantly go down.
Totems for days.
There it is, Earthgrass Totem. Tell us about that.
All right, so I said that we would talk about this a little bit later, and we're just going to keep an eye on this dragon because he is kind of just rampaging about. But Cognitive, we've seen this once before in the past, way before pre-patch Illidan, but you go for the Colossal Totem for the extra range, and then at level 16 you got the Earthgrass. That will extend the range of the Earthgrass that is available. This is all to help Illidan seal the deal. It's all to help Johanna get into the back line. The big thing is, can Itakura actually get forward enough to place it without losing his life?
Yeah, especially with so many stuns. The Divine Storm from Luminosity, slows for days from Jaina. It's going to be tough to get up there and drop it. There is the...
It's a big AoE.
It is a giant totem there for sure.
Yeah, so it's harder to take down, has a longer range, and now with the Earthgrass, it's a 90% slow. It's going to be great for the setup, but the setup has to be basically at this point for the Nazebo and for the Kael'thas. We don't have a Ravenous for this to jump off of. I think that might have been a bit of a mistake, but I understand, you know, you can't have a dwarf jumping onto your face every time. You're down a heroic, basically. So they're going to have to try to make do with it, but it's up to the Illidan, it's up to the Kael'thas, up to the Nazebo to make use of those sacrifices Itakura is going to have to make in order to get that placement.
Cognitive are going to go for a risky play here by going after these Siege Giants. Does Luminosity pick up on it? They do, but they just barely don't make it onto the cap point in time. But can Cog get away? Yes, they will be able to. Iron Skin keeping Johanna further forward. I liked that play as she is able to drop that Iron Skin and get away.
All right, so Luminosity has to take down those Siege Giants, but they aren't going to be able to cap them themselves. In fact, have they even ever capped out these bruisers? I mean, it might be nigh time, but Cognitive is saying, well, all right, that's kind of an interest of ours as well. This is where a totem could absolutely get huge value.
Absolutely. There is a choke point that's making it very difficult for the rest of Luminosity to want to enter the fray here. There is the Phoenix. Silal is forward there, lifting up Boss, who will be taken out immediately. Already capped, being picked up, devouring Ma in the back, but we're going to see Luminosity disengaging. Yeah,
Cognitive was able to take that camp. We did have that Ma, but unfortunately just not really a big follow-up. It is, as you said, looking for that disengage. Look at that slow. Goku just absolutely just comes to a crawl, but unfortunately, again, There's nothing really to follow that up, but still, we've now taken away pretty much every single siege camp available to Luminosity. That's going to be pushing down the top. We got shrines coming up in 30 seconds. We're going to have a double bruiser push by the end of it as Gloron can actually cap this.
Now look how prioritized Cognitive is on these mercenary camps. They're going after now the bruisers on their own side and the ones in bottom. And with 15 seconds left still until Muradin is back up, Luminosity cannot do anything to try to stop this.
And Gloron will get it in peace. So no steals right there. We do got Hosty and Goat looking for a little bit of pressure up top, but all they got was the Sippy Cup. Still, that fort looking very healthy. There's no mules. They just haven't touched it this entire matchup. Icon is now going to try to put even more Merc pressure there on the board. It looks like Illidan's going into the top. He's going to find Goat, but at this point, looks like Gloron's going to be okay. But now Hosty coming in, that's going to be pushing him off. And we're just going to keep playing these ring around the shrines for now.
Yeah, in the bottom, Uther is also picking that one up, but similarly, Glaurung has now picked up the top one. So like you said, they're just going back and forth, seesaw of picking up these shrines. But while this is going on, there is the shield, Blessed Shield onto Hosty, into a Condemn now, and they might be able to pick up the Zagara. Yes, they actually did pick her up because that was a gravity lapse, but now she'll be taken out. Already, Luminosity has lost one of their primary damage dealers for 53 more seconds, and those shrines are active.
Yeah, we're starting to see a little bit of a shift in terms of momentum. Cognitive is starting to really shine into this late game. They've actually now taken the experience lead back. That means they're going to be level 21st, and there's about a half level to go. If they can take down this bottom, nobody there is contesting the top from blue. And if Gloron does seal the deal here, that's going to be their first dragon. And this is, well, I want to say this has a big potential to take a keep.
Yeah, it absolutely does. There is Shot picking up the dragon immediately, being ready to do so. He's going to start pushing in. Looks like yes, it is going to be the mid. So the last remaining or the second to last remaining fort here. So they're trying to even up the structure leads where they can. But yeah, they're so close to level 20. Both teams are. They've nearly picked up their storm talents. There it is.
Yeah, the level 20 push on the back of that fort. We still have so much time, so much health on this Dragon Knight. Are they going to push in for the keep? Doesn't look like they're trying to, be aggressive. They're trying to hedge their bets. They're going to play it a little bit safe. We do got those level 20s. Still not entirely too sure what Nazeebo wants to pick up, but it's probably going to be the Bolt, and there it is. That's going to be a permanent demonic form coming into this with that indestructible, and now we're really starting to tear away at that gate.
There's the level 20s on the side of Luminosity too. 3 Bolts of the Storm, the redemption for Uther, and a hardened shield for Muradin. So they're really recognizing the difficulty that they're now having with Cognitive, looking for that sustain and looking for the mobility to get away from that dang Illidan.
Cox still has hit points here. All right, he's going to soak up a little bit of a few of the shots right there. He throws out the zombies. He's going to be okay. Well, maybe. He's going to have to bolt to safety and into the safety of his teammates' arms, and looks like he's going to be all right from there. But still, they got a fort on the back of that as well.
Yeah, they did. All of the forts now down. They were behind in structures. Now they're ahead. They're going to have an engagement here at these giants, though, and already Muradin gets taken down very far forward there. There's the Divine Storm, but it won't be enough. Uther's going to fall, but that Devouring Maw is huge. Can they take out Goku, though, before their teammates are back? Yes, Jaina will fall, but Illidan is down. Ancestral heal drops on somebody there.
Iacona healed himself.
Oh, Iacona. But did they pick up the giants? No. So at least Luminosity did get the giants, but they lost a lot for it.
Yeah, 3 for 1 just to pick up giants. I'm not entirely too sure that was worth by the end of it all, but level 21 going into this. We don't have those shrines up yet, but you're going to see a notification for them fairly soon. Will that be in time for Gloron to come back? Very likely at this point, but again, even if Gloron is not going to be surviving through these team fights, he is such a sponge for so many of the abilities, so many of those cooldowns from Luminosity. And again, like the momentum shift is really starting to favor Cognitive into this late game. One more dragon, they might actually be able to seal the deal.
Yeah, indeed they could. It's so interesting how they were behind, but they're starting to come back. Still, it is Illidan who has definitely been the focus for Luminosity, and it makes a lot of sense to try to do that. But during the time that it takes them to try to take him out, they've got Nazeebo and Kael'thas in the back throwing out damage, and all of a sudden, this poll has taken a turn for the Cognitive. Don't forget, guys, you can still vote. Use the hashtag HeroesWC and the team you think is going to take this series.
Canadians went to bed or something. Wow, that's a 20% drop right there. But, Luminosity, they're still holding on. They're about to bid that level 21, although Cognitive is about to hit 22. A little bit of a difference in terms of the base numbers, but when it comes into it, by the end, I mean, one team fight is really all we need to knock out either side. We're even on the forts. Well, we're almost even on the forts. We got that stray one into the top that just has not gone down from Cognitive, but the takedowns, fairly even. Levels, pretty much even at this point. And, who's going to, misstep at the end here? Who will actually reign supreme? It's very close.
Once again, we have the shrines spawning. Nazebo and Muradin are moving in here. Illidan is biding his time, looking to maybe come in, and we very well could have a team fight here at any moment.
I think he's looking for Goku. If he can get on top of Goku, if Muradin's down here, if Matra's down there's no CC to control him. Hosty might even have to throw a big maw on top of him, but there's the totem. That should have been the signal for Glong to actually go in, but it says it's going to be down here. Silo actually does get stunned out. He's already used out the Iron Skin, and he's just really, really low on the hit points. He cannot fight this one. It looks like they're going to have to give up the pressure.
Oh, Luminosity was able to bide their time, put on enough pressure to Silo there in the bottom that they forced Cognitive away, but Cognitive still have a very good minion push here up on top, starting to deal damage to these towers that will open up and the avenue to a keep to be taken down possibly later on. Rotations into maybe being able to pick up the Dragon Knight here, but we've got Vala on top. Yep. Should be, yes, just enough time to be able to make sure Cognitive doesn't pick it up.
Yeah, Zagara's calling roaches down on top of your head. Nobody's having a good time at the Dragon area, but Vala was actually up there. They've cleaned up the Merc push into the top, but they did lose out that gate, but still they know pretty much that all Luminosity is in the top to middle area. Glong is just going to use this time. We already got these Siege Giants now taken as well. It's going to keep Luminosity busy, so taking as many mercenary camps as they can before the next team fight just means if they prolong the team fight, it's going to be working in their favor as those lanes will be pushing outside of the realm of the fight.
Yeah, Kaga really using this as a way of forcing Luminosity into a bad decision. We saw they had a fight on bottom, which meant those bruisers were pushing on top. And we're going to have another fight on bottom here. Silo is pulling in Matra. There is the Blessed Shield, and Uther already is down. Here comes Glaurung. He's on the Illidan. Well, he was until the Devouring Maw is going to pull him into the fray, but he should be able to get out there. Silo is forward. A Condemn in on several members. Vala is down too. Cognitive are on the chase. Divine Storm from Matra. He came back up because of a redemption, but I don't know that he's going to get away from these three.
No, he's actually just going to right back down into the world of the ghosts, but still 3-2, 2 for 0 by the end of it. And again, like, we're pushing in with these mercenaries, and because now we're going to be busy into the bottom lane, you see Glaurung, he's going to go straight top. This is going to be a dragon for Cognitive. They didn't lose anyone. They can push in. This is for sure a fort at this point because there's no, there's for sure a keep because there's no forts. That's what I wanted to say. And this should just be a huge advantage going forward, if not the game for Cognitive.
Right, this is a very late game Dragon Knight. The scaling for it means it's going to be doing a ton of damage here. Looks like they're maybe trying to get a takedown on top of Boss here, but you should be able to get away. But that was the totem into the Condemn though. He does get away, but here comes the Dragon Knight, and it's already, look at it, with every axe swing, it takes out so much of a structure's health.
It's a 21-minute Dragon Knight. I mean, it's not going to be able to solo the core at this point, but that should be a keep. We got the Stone Bros coming in. Those Siege Giants are just going to be doing some big work into that, but Hosty, does he have that Maw ready to go? He does not. 10 seconds, which means we have to do the best that we can with what we already have.
Yeah, now the keep is down. Cognitive is not done yet. Strafe is going to come out, but everybody immediately scattered. Great job by Cognitive getting away from that. And now they're right back into it. They're going for the core. Shrink Ray on Dragon means a tiny dragon there. They're going to be able to take that out. But
the Maw missed!
Oh, the Maw completely misses. Everybody from Cognitive is safe here. They're going after core. It's down to 51%, 50. It's falling so incredibly fast. Nobody's still taken down on the side of Cognitive, and they're grabbing this. Game 1 going to Cognitive.
All right, so it doesn't matter that that Maw actually missed. I mean, Luminosity, I'm not entirely too sure they were able to hold it past that, even if they got no 5-man Maw, because they didn't really have a big follow-up to it. But that momentum swing past level 16, Gilly, it really did a lot of work for Cognitive, and they're going to be able to take home the first game against, well, the first showing here of Luminosity. So that's crushing some dreams right there. And who said that? I think that was you that said that.
They want to crush dreams, and they're on path to do it, shattering Luminosity in game number 1. Cognitive looking quite strong.
Yeah.
They really are. What I was really amazed by was their control over the objectives. They constantly were able to pick up a ton of mercenary camps. They kept the pressure on, and then while they were doing that, they were either going after the Dragon Knight or they were pushing a lane here. So a really good job in showing just a constant rotation and knowing all about how to control that battleground.
Gilly, you're so smart. We're actually going to take a look at one of those situations in which they did steal one of those mercenary camps and how impactful that is. They're actually looking to just constantly keep control over every single mercenary camp that they can. We can actually just pause it here. You see the Giants up for contention right now. They're trying to defend this. This is on the side of Luminosity. Cognitive, they just want to steal each and every camp they can. Moving forward with the replay, you can see they pushed in with the pressure. They get a bit clumped up. The Divine Shield, the Divine Storm actually stunning 3 targets, setting up for a big maw, but the resilience is there. They only lose Glaurung on Illidan. We see the Indestructible and Johanna, the Ancestral Heal going off, and they're able to not only steal the camp, going in aggressively, but they get out with almost all their team. From there, they just kept, the pressure on, denying as much as they possibly could throughout the game.
The count by the end of it was something like 11-2 for Merc camps in 22
was-
minutes or so. That's a phenomenal record.
Yeah, it absolutely was. It was insane. And we want to know what you think about how these games have been going. We saw the Twitter poll earlier, and at first it was favoring Luminosity. You guys had faith in our Seoul Canadian team, but
I'm so happy.
as the game went on, it was clear that you guys were favoring Cognitive. So there's still time to vote. Use the hashtag HeroesWC and the hashtag of the team you think will take the series.
All right, and 2 more lucky nerds as well have now won themselves those GeForce GTX 950s. Congratulations to Stephen Thompson and Matthew Long as they both go home with a card each. Remember, guys, if you want a chance at winning one of these cards, you gotta win it. You gotta be in it to win it. So head over to esl.gg/AugustNA Open, and maybe you too can be a lucky winner.
Good
All right,
luck to
well,
you guys.
we're getting ready for game number 2, but before we get to it, let's actually take a closer look at the team of Cognitive.
So Cognitive is a very aggressive team. We want to dictate the pace of the game. We want to dictate rotations. We draft to that strength. It really shows the power of each individual player. Iakona is a very safe player. He knows his matchup, and he's mechanically extremely strong. He's the kind of guy that will cleanse a web wrap and then ice block a maw as Malfurion and just not get hit by anything.
Hospital, typically the very confident one, and he likes to talk a lot of smack.
He will always be in the right position doing the right amount of damage, and he will always be there for you.
Sai, he's kind of a relatively quiet guy, but he's the calm and collected one.
Finish the boss.
He's the one who is basically the mastermind behind everything. He has the strategies.
And then we got Shot, who is our flex player. He literally plays every single hero in the game that's released and not released.
I have stun for him.
I'm the last one out of the bed because I sleep a lot.
Normally we're waiting on Shot because he oversleeps. I gotta run upstairs and wake him up or text him or something.
So Dylan is our manager.
Yeah, let's go.
I usually sit in on their scrims and I watch them and try and stimulate the conversation where I can when it comes to, their drafting or their gameplay.
And then you have Glaurung. If we need a play to make, he'll make the play. He'll go kill someone off, pick them up, and you better watch out for him.
He likes to be the playmaker. He likes to, I don't want to say show off, but he likes to show off a little bit, just a little bit.
When we play our game, we are unstoppable.
And now weeks after week after week, we've slowly improved to the point where we've taken one of the top 3 teams that qualified for regionals. You can't dispute that.
I've been at this for 15 months hard, and my one goal has been to win BlizzCon. And if I fail to achieve that goal, I'm going to be very disappointed.
We have a really scary roster right now, and I'm excited to, to show everyone what we're all about.
You were to be the first, Hellscream. You were destined to be my greatest champion. And instead, you chose this. You have no vision. Behold, what a true seat of power demands. A citadel of hellish fire worthy of my masters. A monument to entomb the souls of all who would dare to defy us.
They will defy you. I have seen their forces in battle. They are fearless. matter what vile creatures you summon to the battle, they will persevere. Their resolve is unbreaking. They will come, they will fight, and they will wash their blades of your blood in victory.
Fight if you must, Hellscream. It is no matter. In the end, we all serve the Legion.
Each player, they bring their own play style. We found a way to get to mesh in there.
So our team captain is Go. His best hero has to be Tyrant, obviously.
Goku, who comes in, really aggressive player, but knows his limitations.
Comes next is Bazhenov, who's our main tank. He knows where to position himself to help both the carries, help whoever's doing the damage, and be also offensive. He knows his limits.
Yeah, Matre, who sits in there, support player, knows when to hit those clutch hooks on everybody.
Then when it comes to hosting, he's always had really good positioning when it comes to fights, and he understands what to do and suggests what's better to do at that moment.
Just so coordinated with each other. They know what's going on. They're able to play really well with each other.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we prepare for game number 2 here of Cognitive and Luminosity. We did just see a little bit of Luminosity, and they say, they're prepared, they're ready to go, and, well, they better be, because they're looking at match point right now, Gilly.
Their tournament life is absolutely on the line. And it is for Cognitive too, but it's a much different situation for them. Cognitive have already qualified for the America's Championship, but if Luminosity are taken out here, they can't move on. It's done.
This is it. Their dream for BlizzCon lies here, and we want to know if you guys believe in Cognitive and crushing those dreams, or Luminosity in succeeding and making their way to regionals. So use the hashtag HeroesWC and, of course, the hashtag for the team in which you want to win.
And, of course, we do have to give thanks to our sponsors. We couldn't have done this without them. Our official hardware partners are Gigabyte and NVIDIA. And, those nerds, definitely big love to them.
Oh, my goodness. They're the best nerds.
Absolutely. Oh, other than the viewers, of course. You guys are the MVP.
Do we have a draft?
We might. I'm not sure. Gilly?
I think we do have a draft.
Maybe?
Maybe?
Yeah!
Yeah!
That was all set up. We totally knew we had a draft.
Totally.
Tomb of the Spider Queen is going to be the battleground for the second game of this series. It's actually the final series of the day, and Johanna, no Hana.
No Hana. Ohana means family, no Hana means no family.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. This got so dark so quickly.
Well, let's talk to Kael'thas, because we snuffed his light out too.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Sun King's light has gone out. Kael'thas will not be here. Johanna, neither. And once again, we're seeing a Johanna ban in the first stages of bans, which has been very new, I think, to a lot of us. But it makes a lot of sense here on this battleground, especially if you don't want to have to go against that Johanna-Asmodean combination.
Right, but now they have to go against Glorong Zeratul.
This is scary.
You said it got dark. Now it's dark and scary.
Yeah, he actually lurks in the shadow as well. So Glorong, we saw him playing the Illidan in the last game, and I actually got to say, I wasn't at all sold on it. I don't think Illidan was the best pick. There was actually so many scenarios in which he was the only one dying. And
you called him the sponge for a reason.
yeah, he was kind of a sponge, soaking up a lot of damage, but in the end, his Zeratul is disgustingly powerful.
Yep. All right, so Zeratul answered by Zagara here for the Tomb of the Spider Queen. No quite Asmo yet, Gilly, but Leoric's going to be joining her there, and that's a pretty power pick right there from Luminosity.
Yeah, if Luminosity wanted to go Asmodean, even with the Johanna ban, it's still a definite possibility with Leoric there to help him stack the Taste for Blood on his Globe of Annihilation. But I like the Zagara pickup, at least. If you can't deal with the Zeratul by grabbing him, then you at least can deal with it by having the vision and trying to get control over those turn-in points.
And on top of that, I mean, Zeratul, one of his biggest strengths is the Void Prison, and Maw is a great response to it. If your whole team's going to get hit by the Void Prison, well, I'll just spawn by mawing your team, and it can really help turn around fights.
Yep, it definitely could, and going into that as well, Mirrodin now to be picked up on the side of Zeratul, so it feels a little bit more of a counter right there, but Nazeebo once more making the cut before the second bans. Cognitive very, very confident on their Nazeebo play, Jake.
For good reason. It's he's such a good hero, very old school. A lot of the newer teams, actually, we haven't seen them running too much Nazeebo because he hasn't been in the meta since they started playing the game. But Cognitive, these guys are super seasoned. Nazeebo is a bit of an artifact in the heroes community in the sense that for a long time he was considered the best damage dealer in the entire game.
Yeah, that feels like a Coon's age ago, but now Tyranda's going to be out, Sylvanas is going to be out, so what's left here, Gilly?
Well, what's interesting is that Jaina and Kael'thas are still on the table for either team.
No, Kael'thas was the first.
Dang it! I'm having such trouble reading that thing. I'm sorry.
It's been a long day, Gilly. We understand.
Jaina is still here, and it seems like we've seen a lot of fall from power here, and that's very interesting considering the fact that really the only change to her was the initial damage, initial chill from the water elemental, yet it seems to be enough to move her down.
Well, let's look at the patch prior to that. See, stylistically, what makes Jaina so powerful is her ability to flank. When they remove Sprint from Jaina, they hurt her ability to flank because it's no longer safe. And the summoning of the water elemental, providing that big slow at the start, is what also gave her a lot of viability in the flanks. Without those two abilities, without those two attributes to her kit, she's so much more risky to have. There's so many other heroes that are just safer and more solid for your composition.
Yep, all right. So still, all that rhetoric aside, Vala Malfurion is going to be coming into here. Still no sign of the Ice Queen herself, but Cognitive have a little bit of a chance to respond. So far, I mean, it's Leoric's solo tank. We got the double range into the back for Luminosity. Malfurion could be a double tank, could be a triple range. We've seen kind of all sides of it here, Gilly, but Cognitive, that's Rhaegar. What do you think their last is going to be?
All right, well, they've got their warrior, they've got their support. If they wanted a double warrior, they could do so, but I don't know that that's the plan here. I think they're going to be looking for some more damage, and it could very well be the Jaina, as Jaina and Zeratul together would be a lot of damage.
Yep. Definitely strong. You can't knock it. Oh, but they're going to go with the Abathur, and this is a devastating pair. You throw the hat in Zeratul, and when he's hunting you around these dark corridors in the Tomb of the Spider Queen, it is nightmarish to be on the receiving end.
Yeah, we've actually seen Abathur now first pick, first sequence, second sequence, all the way to last pick now. The entire array of pick categories. And wow, that's somebody we don't see every day. A Nubarak to be joining for the double warrior here of Luminosity. If we take a quick look at him, because you guys haven't seen him all day, he's this big hulking bug.
Big hulking bug. That's a great way to describe him. He's actually a pretty uncommon solo warrior, but we're going to see him paired up in this matchup. Very strong. The burrow charge to get between lanes, go burrow underneath whatever he needs to. Zombie walls can't stop him. Entombs can't stop him. He's going to find his bug life somewhere.
Now, the big thing for me, Jake, is Locust Swarm versus Web Blast. He isn't a double warrior comp. If he wants to be more tanky, we'll see Locust Swarm, but if they want to target out someone, that Web Blast could absolutely be fearsome.
Yeah, they actually call it Cocoon nowadays. They keep renaming heroics. I love it. And but Cocoon is so powerful at just locking down a hero, like you said, seclude them, make it a 4v5 for a few seconds. Suddenly, if they want to get that hero out of the Cocoon, they have to focus some damage onto the Cocoon to eliminate it, releasing their teammate. It's a cool dynamic to throw in the mix.
All right, so we've seen the teams. Hopefully you guys are now going to be joining with your voice into your Twitter poll. But last thoughts, Gilly?
Well, Luminosity was running a lot of double warrior in the open before, so it totally could be that they're going a comfort pick right here, and it looks like we're ready for the game.
All right, Luminosity on the left. Matra going to be playing that Malfurion. Goat here for the Zagara. Goku on our Leoric. Hosty is going to be playing the Vala, and Bosfloss to be playing the newcomer, our Nubarak.
And their opponents, they're up 1-0 in this best of 3. If they win this, they will be moving on in the bracket. And we've got Glaurung playing Zeratul, Hospital on Abathur, Iakona playing Rhaegar, Sylal playing Muradin, and once again on Nazeebo will be shot.
He loves that Nazeebo going in, but again, like Glaurung Zeratul, once upon a time was the defining player to make this a pick. This was way before the auto attack builds, way back when you would see rending cleaves, double bombs, quad bombs. Wow, we go all the way back there. But these days, he's still a very fearsome roam, and we'll have to see if Cognitive can kind of use that for their early game.
Some of the interesting talents they have picked up is, once again, they did pick Colossal Totem for Rhaegar, and also even though we have a Zeratul, we are still seeing Abathur, at least initially, prioritize survival instincts. So not going to have pressurized glands, focusing more on the Locust, at least at level 1.
We got the Reconstitution coming in from the Zagara. We'll have to look for that Endless creep a little bit later on, but right now, a big focus, at least for the Warriors, especially the double Warriors coming in from Cognitive, should be orb stacking. We got the reanimation, we have the regen master as well right there for the Anubarak. So both of those Warriors are going to directly benefit from ping-ponging between these lanes. And, whew, Glorong, he really went behind enemy lines for that one.
He is playing very aggressively, but Luminosity are too, at least in the push. They were able to take down a tower already to half health, and it's only a minute 26 into the game, so at least a very good quick response, realizing that so many of Cognitive were bought and moving up toward those structures in top, trying to keep the pressure on, both sides looking to keep the pressure on.
All right, so a little bit more roaming going back and forth. Glorong, you're on the wrong side of that wall again, dude. He's just going to go right over, finds Goat, brings him down to half virtually for free. That's going to be some Hydralisk return fire, but Shot's going to just be able to keep pushing in and in on that one, and as they keep going back and forth, I mean, so far it's not quite any takedowns, but still a lot of pressure from both sides as we see the Warriors ping-ponging, we see we see Glorong again. He's going, he has the Abathur hat on him this time. That's the bomb, but he doesn't quite have enough in the bank. Both of them will get out.
Every time he's been so close to taking somebody down, but because they haven't gotten the Zagara takedown, they did, Luminosity bought enough time to be able to take down a tower on top. Now Cognitive are trying to tie that back up, get a tower here in the bottom lane, but we still have another hard push from Luminosity. Every time Cognitive show themselves, Luminosity say, that's fine, we'll just continue to push another lane.
And 53% now overtaking the Cognitive for a little bit. Everybody just wants to see a game number 3, I think.
I agree. Rooting for the underdogs. I want to see a game 3 too. And we've got level 4 talents on both sides. Multi-shot build here for Vala. That's a pretty interesting one.
Whoa, a Nubarak's going a little bit more offensive. That's not a Beetle build coming in. In fact, that's actually a little bit extra damage, I believe, every time he puts out his shield. He's going to be doing a little bit of an AoE around him. Haven't seen that one in a while. In fact, actually, I think that's the only one we see in Korea, I want to say.
It's Locust Spines, and that is a very interesting pickup there for the Anubarak. But Luminosity are showing us some crazy cool play with him. And up top, this push from Luminosity is not giving up. Yes, here in bottom, we've got 2 towers, but I think several towers have been taken down, and in fact, yeah, in the mid and the top here in favor of Luminosity.
Yeah, we've been trading out more siege damage than takedowns at this point. 0-0 on the board, but already forward pressure from both sides. Bottom getting really pushed in here from Cog. Top from Luminosity, and I mean, at this point, they're pretty much just on track to trade.
Yeah, and the defense, the defense is better there for Luminosity because they do have that Zagara there. I don't think there was anything there. Rhaegar only for Cognitive, so already a fort down. We got 12 gems only turned in for Luminosity. These guys are like, oh, is an objective to this battleground? I thought it was just pushing.
Maybe. I mean, we saw 1-2 dragons maybe in the last one as well. I mean, it took until level 12 to get, so maybe we're just going to see a lot more focus here on the lanes, less on the objectives so far. But there, okay, 32 now dunked down. We almost have enough, there we go, in the bank for Luminosity. So if they want to turn in, they can. But I think they're more focused on just trying to make sure that their lanes are pushed up. They do have that level advantage, so their level 7 comes in. That's going to be the range increase. Bed of barbs. Sorry, that's not a range increase. That's the actual barbs that show up after you use it.
Flowron getting caught out here. The body blocks for real for Boss Boss, and that's a lot of gems, and they are protecting them. They're saying, no way can you pick these up, Rhaegar, or you're going to pay for it. And that was the power. They've got those level 7 talents. The strong push, the early structure tower takedowns, and even the fort have netted them this great experience lead.
All right, Hospital on Cognitive on the Abathur has actually picked up that mule. We got the Gid bin. No cleanse. We went from a game of 2 cleanse to a game of 0. We do got Enduring Regrowth and the Earth Shield, but our Zeratul looking very standard. We also got the Stormbolt builds once more from Erden. In fact, we've only had 1 game with Reverberation. Everybody just likes to be pushing today. And so far, I mean, as you can see, Luminosity, they've taken that lead. They are going to be out pushing their opponents and the Web Weavers to boot.
Right, and Cognitive, although they did get the Locust talent at 1, they did still get Adrenal Overload, so we're still seeing a kind of a hybrid build here so that they can make sure that Glowering will get the increased attack speed. Unfortunately, he may go down here as a big bolt, blink, and Zeratul will be taken out as they're following trying to get Silal too, but that Burrow charge from Boss Floss was impressive.
Yeah, Boss Floss went deep for that one, but hey, they were able to punish out Glowering. He did not get away fancy free, but now again, you know, all 3 lanes pushing down, level 9.5 and counting. If we get this big push into the bottom, you're going to see those level 10s pop out. Luminosity really showing us a very aggressive pushing strategy. There's so few takedowns already. No skirmishes basically going back and forth, but it's a very offensive Nubarag. Could we actually see that web blast away?
I would love to see it. I don't know who the target for it would be, but maybe if they were looking to deter a Ravenous Spirit, they could look to maybe try to throw that out.
It's the Cocoon, not the Web Blast.
Has been picked up, also devouring Moss Strafe, March of the Black King, and Tranquility.
So I see a lot of setup with the team of Luminosity. You can Cocoon someone, you can maw them, and then either way, by the end of it, you got a Strafe in your face, and you got that March to deal with as well. There's no cleanses. Once you're there and you're rooted on the back of all that, wow, Luminosity could really just set up a super aggressive lineup, and so far it's working out wonderfully. They're about to hit level 11. They've already turned in once. They've got 3 forts to their name. Hello, team? Like, is Cognitive going to do anything here?
I just think Cognitive was not expecting this style of play, and they're really put on the back foot. They were expecting a very standard, okay, well, we're going to be in complete control of this battleground. You're going to be really scared of our Zeratul, but they just haven't been. They're just like, okay, well, you can just Zeratul wherever. We're just going to push another lane.
This creep spread is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's fantastic. She did get endless creep too, so it's very difficult for them to figure out where those creep tumors are too. You see Itakura trying to move around with the shield, just trying to find any of those tumors.
Wow, that spread is absolutely insane. Yeah, Itakura, he has to deal with the Siege Giant stand there. Now we also got the Bruisers to be marching down the mid lane here. Now we don't have enough gems to dunk down for Luminosity, but if all they got to do is put up that pressure, that's the better Barbs lining up there as well. Boss Floss kind of gets hit there by that zombie donut, but will there be any more aggression after this one? We just hit 10 for Cognitive.
Well, the Strafe didn't really connect with anybody. Cognitive are pulling back here. They did pick up Ultimate Evolution, Gargantuan, and Ancestral Healing, Void Prison, and the Avatar. So if they're going to try to engage here, they want to stop these turn-ins. Silol, actually, what are you doing? No, my friend, get out of there, Muradin. He's going to get rooted for now, but we'll be able to escape.
Those Bed of Barbs look absolutely sick. And something I just kind of realized, you couldn't go Ravenous at all with this composition, because that's going to be Boss Floss in your face or throwing you into a cocoon. Even Glowing at this point, Goku apparently has a spirit, can go right through that Void Prison. He's just going to march on top of this as well. But with that Void Prison, is this enough to survive for Cog?
Well, there was the Ancestral Healing on Silol. Hosties getting low and being chased down by Hospital, but now the Ultimate Evolution has completed. So Cognitive is going to start to back up here. They're down a body. Gargantuan going to follow shot home.
All right, so 12 to 10 coming into this. The 13 is just around the corner. 33 gems to 33 gems. Not quite enough to seal the deal from Luminosity, but it's going to be very close after they clear up this next creep wave. And now with so many heroics actually down, that was 5 heroics for 2 as a little bit of a number of a trade. So Luminosity's feeling good. They're like, well, we still have 3 heroics. We can still push this in. A shot into the bottom. He really trying to dunk down the rest of those gems, but the security guard is right there.
53 now gems on Cognitive. Shots trying to sneak in, but Goku
says no.
You're right. He's manning the security post, watching out for any turn-ins here. But meanwhile, we've got an engagement in the mid. Goat's fairly low. There is a cocoon, though. They're trying to break out their friend from it. It will be Glaurung there, but it was enough time. They bought just enough so Shot could finally turn in 20 or 17 of his gems. Yeah,
Goku's fired. No more security post for him. He's going to be looking at the classifieds in the morning. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. The red wave weavers are descending, but we already have all the forts down here against Cognitive, which means that they have to go up against all of them from Luminosity, and all the lanes are fairly pushed in. So it's not like we're going to see a snap fort taken down. There's a lot of time here for Luminosity to react. It looks like they're going to clean up the mid first. Bottom is actually being contested by Goku a little bit, but even by the end of it, that's not going to stop it, but it will slow it down.
Yeah, they wanted to help push that one along because it was the furthest there. There is a Void Prison. It only caught Malfury in there, and he will be able to come right back out. And Hospital that is just the Avatar clone. It is finished though, so once again, Cognitive have to play a little bit more passively as it has 3 heroics expended there.
All right, so there's no towers to pick up down here. If that could actually be a fort, that's going to be huge for Cognitive. 13 is now coming into this, and you can see Luminosity, they're basically going uncontested now, so the push doesn't get any force. It did take up a few towers, but at the level 13 mark, Cognitive is steering clear. They do not want to be anywhere near Luminosity right now. And the chitinous plating, I believe, comes in at 13 right there for Anubarak. It's definitely a very push-heavy and aggressive Anubarak that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, very interesting, strange Anubarak build, continuing Boss showing us the versatility of this hero, and Frost Shot. So we're continuing the multi-shot build there for Vala on Luminosity. And like you mentioned, Cognitive, they've kind of got the heck out of town there because of the fact that they don't have 13, and that means these turn-in points are really uncontested. Goku gonna drop 22 in the bank, and now we're gonna have once again Blue Web Weavers descending.
Oh, he found that Rhaegar, and now Rhaegar's not faring whatsoever. He's just gonna have to put that tail between his legs and hightail it out of there, but Goku is just looking good. Hospital to the back, that's the clone Zeratul off to the left, trying to bring down Matra, but it's not even gonna be close at this point. He's just gonna heal himself right through it, and now we're down a clone for defense. We have 10 seconds until the actual Void Prison comes up, but we also have those Blue Web Weavers, so we're going to be looking to push, and at the end of this push, Luminosity's looking to get 16.
Yeah, it just seems to me like the ultimate evolution is not syncing up with the rest of the abilities. It's not really, we didn't see the full fight, the full force come in with the double Zeratul, so hopefully Cognitive will be able to figure that out. But for now, they've got to worry about defense, as already towers in front of a keep are down, and we're looking at Web Weavers starting to push in toward the keep. Now, they are down in experience, but they do have the same talent here, so they could get into an okay engagement here if they need to.
A little less than half hit points left on this Web Weaver. It's probably not going to be even doing a dent in that keep. Top's not faring so well either. It has to deal with that Abathur, but bottom actually still has a pretty strong push going into it. Goku and crew, they're just trying to do as much chip damage as they can, but if they can't take it down, there's going to be a mule on the back of all this from that Abathur, and Hospital again with that clone into the back. They're looking for Goat, and they get it.
There is a Void Prison 2 on 3 members, but already Zagara is down, but so the shot is in a terrible position here, will be taken out. Sylal very low, has 30 gems. He can't afford to lose those, so already we have so many members pushing in toward this keep. We've got Iakona, who's stuck in the middle of so many members of Luminosity. He will also fall, and now they're going to be able to take out this keep.
Yeah, we made the Iakona donut right there, but now this keep is just not going to be surviving. I don't think we can quite push in for the win, but again, this bottom lane push was very strong. It took out all those towers. We did get the level 16. We're up that talent tier, and that keep is going to be the big target, but they got to keep Matra up. He does throw down that ice block. We have those 16s now here as well. The Tenacious Root, the double Mutalisk coming into that, as well as a Blood for Blood. But by the end of it all, LG, they've outstayed their welcome. They have to run off and, live to fight another day. They have 53 gems. Not quite enough for a turn-in, but there's bruisers to get. There's mercenaries out there. One good engage could actually be the boss on top of that, so they're just going to make sure they don't overextend, and they got to play safe.
Right. Once again, they're just controlling these turn-ins so well. We see that it was very easy to do that with the Zagara. If you can get that good push going, then you've got all of that. Interesting. You've got that vision there, but speaking of interesting, 2 Zeratuls now going after the boss. We've got Glaurung, and then of course the ultimate evolution from Hospital here. But now Hospital is almost down. Nobody though expects it. Look at Luminosity. Yep. They don't see it at all.
Well, Glaurung's never on the map. So they don't know what's going on, and at the same time, that clone, it's got him down to half. They got him down to a quarter. The Web Weavers are actually getting dunked down, and they're saying, oh god, they're actually up here. Here's the security guard. Is he going to let that reset? No, not on your life. Goku is going to try to keep this. Oh, there it goes. It's reset. It does actually leash, and that means that all that work is going to be for nothing. Now, Cognitive has to deal with the Web Weavers.
Luminosity got the turn-in, and because of the leash, it went completely away. So it was a fantastic job by Luminosity to pick that up just in the nick of time, bide enough time to get the turn-in, and now the pressure is still on Cognitive. What they thought maybe we would get a reprieve from by grabbing that boss, it's not going to be there. Web Weaver's pushing all the way toward the structures here on top. Remember, the keep is already down in mid, and then bottom one will start being pushed with those Web Weavers as well.
Yeah, it's going to take its time. It's all about this top push right now, but there goes those gates. We still don't have 16 for Cognitive. They are not on that even talent tier. We have 2 Blood for Bloods ready to go for Luminosity Gaming. Every heroic is ready to go. Not so from the side of Cognitive. They still got 10 seconds on some of them. This is a good window to keep pushing in, but they've lost the Web Weaver. They don't have the mercenaries to push in. Hospital is actually going to be on the Nazebo this time. No double Zeratul, but it looks like they'll hold, but it's just ever slow slightly.
Yeah, the keep is exposed, and Luminosity are not letting up on the pressure. Cognitive just finally hit 16, but they're
that bottom.
losing this bottom keep.
Oh, it's gone.
Oh, there's only one keep left. It's going to go down to Root's going to go on to shot there. There won't be any sort of follow-up quite yet. And here is possibly what Cognitive believes is their last stand, as they are going full throttle. They know that they have the same talent here, and a huge Void Prison has so many members already. Goku is able to Wraithwalk out though, and now look how many heroic abilities are down. Only Ancestral Healing remaining.
Yeah, that's up. Actually, they've left a man behind into the back. Lorong is going to be the web wrap target. He did get Cocoon, and that's going to be a strafe coming out. He can't re-stealth. He already used the wormhole, and Goku's coming in. One big swipe, and it could be all over. Boss Floss is there to witness the demise, and it will be the only takedown in that fight. The level 16 did happen for Cognitive. He had the Rending Cleave, but we also got that Colossal Totem to go with the Earth Grasp, and LG, they're just saying, all right, we'll show you actually how to take a boss.
So many gems dropped there when Zeratul was taken out. They still do have 63, so they have enough for a turn-in, but they cannot allow this boss to be picked up. They're making their stand, and Shot goes down with the ice block, but he is rooted as soon as he comes out of it. A fantastic root there from Malfurion, and on top of that, Zeratul, who was still down, he just couldn't be there. It was a 4v5, now it's a 3v5, and really, I mean, with the Abathur hat, it's going to be so difficult to try to engage into this. I think this could be the end.
The Muradin finally puts in 50 gems by himself. I have no idea why they decided to try to do that. A man down with so many gems on their warrior. If he had gone down, that would have been it for the Web Weavers, but we do got the Red Web Weavers finally coming through. They are going to come down, but the problem is there's a boss, and it's a 17-minute boss, Gilly. I don't care how strong that these Web Weavers are. This is a game-ending boss potential.
Yeah, Luminosity does not care about the Web Weavers. Maybe just this top one here to make sure that the lane stays pushed, but otherwise they have the lanes so far pushed. They have all of their forts up. They can sacrifice some forts if it means winning the game.
Yeah, who cares if you take out a fort if I take out your core? I mean, like, I'm just going to win the game. That's fine. And they're immediately marching down. Here comes the big push. That's a double Nazebo onto the back. It's that extra Nazebo's going to go down into the maw. We do got the Void Person out. Lots of zone control going out, but now all the cards are on the table. Silo into the bottom. He's down to half health already. The team is split. The core is basically a big barrier right there as Boss Floss is going to go in. Gloring into the back. He's looking for as much damage as he can get, but it's just not going to matter. This boss is really ripping to this core, and that is going to be a game 3, ladies and gentlemen. Luminosity have brought it back, and they are not disappointing the Canadian fans.
What a way to end the broadcast. We get a game 3.
Yes.
It's gonna be fantastic. We have Cognitive, we have Luminosity. Luminosity, we've mentioned it before, they're the ones who need to continue on if they want to qualify for the America's Championship. They are playing their hearts out versus Cognitive.
No dreams crushed there, man.
Yeah, Cognitive, they're not looking as strong as I thought they would in this series. I have to say it. Luminosity, they came out like a ball of fire in game number 2. They took just a stronger advantage very early on, and they just kept the pressure going forward. We saw Cognitive actually try to do something sneaky to try to crawl themselves back into the game, and it's like, let's actually take a look at that moment, because that was kind of the nail in the coffin for them. This is when we saw the double Zeratul attempting to go for the boss. We saw the Ancestral use there as well, but they're forced to disengage. And in this moment, guess what? The Web Weavers are getting summoned just about now, and the boss will leash and disappear. They spent so much time, so many resources attempting to pick that up. They were already behind. That was their last-ditch effort, but it wasn't going to work out for them. And, well, Luminosity brings us to game 3.
It felt like the pace was very dictated by Luminosity just from the get-go. I mean, so much pressure in one lane, another pressure in lane. They took a fort at, what, the 4-minute mark, Jake? And we didn't see Web Weavers for a good while.
Yeah, we really didn't. So it didn't work out for Cog that well, and Luminosity fights back with a vengeance.
Absolutely. Yeah. Gilly, we're going to see game number 3.
We are, and we want to know what you guys think of this so far, who you think is going to take game number 3 and move on in this tournament. To vote, use the hashtag HeroesWC on Twitter and the hashtag of the team you think is going to take the series.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but when we do return, game number 3, let's talk a little bit about Cognitive, because we're going to see what they think that their team's strengths are, because they're going to have to rely on them to take this next game.
Glaurung. His best hero by far is Zeratul.
Well, he's the best in the region, if not best in the world.
Itakura is just an all-around support god.
He's just the troll. He's just a goofball. Mr. Google.
For Silo, I think his best is Johanna. He's gonna hate me for this.
He likes to control the map, so he tends to play heroes like Johanna and Leoric.
Hospital. His best hero is probably Sylvanas. He was like a big reason why we won the complexity game in the July qualifier.
My other teammate is Shot. He's probably best known for his Tyrande.
He follows the team. If you tell him to do something, he will do it, and he will do it well.
As king, I dedicated my life to Tristram and served its people with all my heart. In exchange, they called me a madman and betrayed me. But I have returned, stronger than ever. These so-called heroes think they can destroy me. But I cannot be killed again. Here in the Nexus, I will have my revenge. I am Leoric, the Skeleton King. And I will only choose allies who I know will never betray me.
And it all comes down to this Stormwind champion versus Ogre Brute.
I'm feeling really good about Stormwind here.
Whoa.
Am I seeing this right?
Could be a scare tactic, Bob. Could be nerves.
I don't think scare tactics work with ogres.
You know from experience.
Okay, well, let's not get into my personal life.
Hold that thought. Looks like we have a substitution. It's Tankmaster Overspark.
This guy's a very technical player. His game's about nuance, precision.
Whoa, that's Hearthstone.
Play it free on your phone or PC.
Rated T for teen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the beginning of the end. Game number 3 coming your way of our last set of the series. I'm the forecourt jester, joined to be, of course, to my right, the illustrious nerd of Gillyweed.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here. I'm thrilled that we get a game 3. Are you kidding me? In an elimination match 2? This is awesome.
I don't know. Are you kidding me, so, Jake?
I'm not kidding you, Jester, because guess what? This is it. Luminosity has a chance to keep their dream of going to BlizzCon alive. Now, of course, the next step is regionals, but if they can defeat Cognitive here, it will not only be a massive upset, but amazing for them, really.
Yeah, because they'll continue on in their tournament life. The pay grade bumps up a little bit. Plus, they get to say that, you know, they didn't actually end up last in the only game series that they played here in the Dogs Top 8 Open. Because, of course, you know, they didn't get to play against Tempo Storm. And a lot of people will be saying, you know, Tempo Storm probably would have 2-0'd them, but we'll never know. We'll never know, Jake.
They have the ultimate excuse, but you know what? We want to know what you guys think. We want to know who you want to see advance here. Use the hashtag HeroesWC in either @Luminosity or hashtag Luminosity rather, and hashtag Cognitive over on Twitter.
All right, so Gilly, maybe we can do it a little bit more confidence this time. Do we have a draft?
We sure do.
That's right, we do. We're going to jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, this draft, it's a very important game, number 3. And wow, Jake, you actually called it. It's going to be Cursed Hollow. How did you do that?
No, I was speculating. I was saying, you know what? We saw Glaurung fail kind of as Illidan, but they managed to pull it through because of Kael'thas in Game 1. And in Game 2, he busted out the Zeratul. And the Zeratul play really did get shut down.
It did.
Well, here we are in Game 3, and when we don't see they're banning Zeratul, which means they don't want him. This is when we tend to see Glaurung shift to Falstad. Now, he's more of a melee hero, but when he's feeling a little bit less confident in those picks, he goes for Falstad, and this is a great battleground for that hero.
Well, we're going to have to see if Cognitive actually will go for the Falstad, but first pick Abathur. It's like the reverse of last game, Gilly.
Right. He is back into the first pick. I feel like we started the day like this, and then he went away for a little while, and now we're back. Abathur really being prioritized here by Luminosity. And Cognitive, they're also going to grab a specialist, getting Zagara here. What do you think will be next? Do you think it'll be some sort of like support to Jake, or maybe a warrior to help make sure they have a strong front line?
Leoric makes the most sense right now. Leoric is just so powerful, especially in the late game. Cursed Hollow, you're pretty much guaranteed a late game. So I would like to see him here.
It's been a while since we've seen 10-minute Cursed Hollow matches.
Okay, throw it out the window.
Or Glaurung could play Illidan. That's good too.
Wow.
It can be. It can be.
It can be good.
Now, the Illidan is so strong, especially with Abathur. But Abathur is on the opposing side, so I'm very curious to see what they're going to try to pair with this. They're not guaranteed an Uther by any means, and in fact, I really do expect Luminosity almost guaranteed to steal that Uther away.
Well, they got the Leoric. Will it be the Uther, Gilly?
Well, Leoric and Abathur together are already so strong, and I fear for Cognitive if they can't pick up that Uther, especially if Luminosity grabbed Uther right here.
All right, so let's say Luminosity grabs the Uther. Could they then ban the Rhaegar?
Exactly what I thought.
All right, but it looks like that's not happening.
Nope.
No, not today. They actually want to go for the double warrior, and this is going to make things tricky for Illidan. Now, of course, Johanna has not only Condemn, but she has the Blind. We call it the Flashlight, but it stops your auto attacks. And Illidan, the way that he stays alive is by dealing damage. He gets 20% of his damage dealt with his attacks received as hit points, and if he's not hitting because he's blinded, well, it kind of stops him from staying alive.
Yep, just a little bit. So, I mean, that is a heck of a point right there. The Abba hat on top of either of these warriors who have a lot of control for that Illidan. It's going to be harsh, but Cognitive are actually going to be the ones to ban out the Malfurion. Luminosity, I don't feel like they can actually ban out the Uther safely here.
I like this play.
Yeah,
I think,
smart.
Yeah, they ban out the Malfurion because
They're
even
gonna
though they
do
do it anyway. Oh my gosh, okay.
Boys,
now you go.
This means that it's going to be Rhaegar and Cog, and we're going to see Lily, because Karazim is not allowed today.
But
Could we see Brightwing, please?
Yes,
Friends?
come on.
It's extinct. Fairy dragons have gone extinct.
She got a buff in the patch.
She's still extinct.
All right, Jake. At the same time, Cognitive with Illidan, they're literally giving 2 blind characters to Luminosity.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's game.
Illidan will hit nothing.
All right, well, there's the Rhaegar as we expect to see. If Ancestral Heal is, a
Cog
big
needs
thing.
to take Lily right now.
Is this going to be my big question for you guys? Do you think it's still possible? We've seen this in the past. The Illidan Warrior. He's going to be a big
Up
sponge.
against actual 2 warriors that don't ever go down? I'm not sure. That's it. Like, if they take Lily right now, sure, but they didn't. They took Nazeebo.
Okay.
So I think that it will be a warrior by the end of it. My big bet right now is going to be either the Mirrodin or the Anubarak. The Anubarak, by the way, last round played phenomenally well.
Really
I would want to see more of that. But of course, that was Luminosity playing it, and they already got their double warrior. Are we going to see the triple warrior hype? I don't think so.
Well, Luminosity did pick up the panda, the wandering adventurer Lily. So they only have 1 spot left, and let's take a little bit of a look at Lily. She's got Healing Brew, but the big deal for this game specifically is the Blinding Wind, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
She can even spec into it with a talent that allows her to hit even more targets with the Blinding Wind.
Now, I just want to confirm that Healing Brew is tea. She's throwing tea at her allies.
Yes, that is the traditional healing brew, and the jug of 1,000 cups of tea will also be coming into this one as well.
Excellent. Delicious tea. It's my favorite kind.
Iced tea, because imagine hot tea being flung at you.
That sounds dangerous.
It does. That's why it's iced tea.
All right, but Vala will be the last pickup here for Luminosity Cognitive. They now have time for room for one more here on their team. They don't have a warrior yet.
Arthas.
You think so?
No.
Mirrodin? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It is going to be Mirrodin, so it is not going to be the lone Illidan in the front line. He will have Mirrodin with him. And you know what? I like this a lot, but Illidan's still going to be very hard to pull off in this kind of composition.
I do agree. I'm not entirely confident in Cognitive in their draft. I'm confident of their skill. They've really shown us that. I'm confident in Glaurung. But 2 blind characters against 2 melees.
Now, there's another big strength that Illidan has. He's actually one of the best heroes in the game when it comes to collecting mercenary camps. You can go around through the jungle, pick up the bruisers very early in the game. Level 4 even, you can start picking up merc camps. So we should expect to see that here out of Glaurung in this third and final game of the day.
All right, so we're going to get that going here in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, make your voice heard. Use those hashtags, Luminosity or Cognitive. We want to see what you're saying. Of course, Canadians got to come out here. Luminosity right now, 2-1. We can do it, Jake. We'll see you at the end of the game, sir. Keep it fresh. But Gilly, we're coming in. Luminosity Gaming. Matra is going to be playing that Lily. Goats is going to be on our Vala. Goku for our Leoric. We got Hosty on the Abathur. And Boss Floss bossing it up with that Johanna.
And once again, their opponents for the last time is Cognitive Gaming in red. Glaurung is going to be on Illidan once again. Hospital this time playing Nazebo. Iakona on Rhaegar. Silal playing Murden. And playing Zagara this time will be Shot.
Now, Shot Zagara, this is the first time we've actually seen him not on Nazebo.
Right, but he is a flex player. He's very familiar with a lot of them, and he does play a lot of Zagara, so I'm sure he's feeling very confident there, and more of the confidence on the Zagara to allow Nazebo to be played by someone else.
Now, as you see the level 1 towns coming in, this one looks like a Q build. Knight takes pawn, we got the reanimation, and a little bit more of a battle build Abathur this time. Perhaps not the back doors that some people might be expecting. But I want to point out that Rhaegar, throughout the day, has had 3 separate level 1 talent picks. And today, it looks like Earth Totem wins out.
It's crazy that we're seeing Healing Totem in here a little bit more, but also look at this push for Cognitive, dealing so much damage to these top towers. Goku trying desperately to push them off with that Abathur symbiote. And with pressurized glands, they do have to be a bit careful there, as the Spike Burst will be coming up more often.
Yep, so the Battle Hat, it has 2 really good hosts on top of it. And if Illidan gets nice and cozy, of course, we can just throw a Spike Burst in his face and see if he'll take the hint. But Goat and Matre into this bottom lane, they're not going anywhere either. That is a very harsh 2v1 for the Nazebo.
Yeah, and this pressure has not been letting up. Once again, Cognitive trying to push back into here. So both teams, once again, for the 3rd game in a row, going after just very strong pushes in lanes. And that's kind of been the tale of these 2 teams together.
All right, Goku, he's really trying. I'll give him that. Hosty and that little extra Locust, just again trying to keep that lane push. Glaurung, not really getting much done here mid, but Boss Floss is really hurting. Glaurung actually looks pretty much full hit points on that one, so he's been doing some good work. But still, 2-minute mark is coming in. Will we see that rotation? Meriden is now going into the mid. Might see Illidan shove off and look for a Merc camp, but we are going to have those tributes very quickly, Gilly.
And we will. And speaking of those tribute fights, how do you think that those are going to go down? Because we have a lot of really good poke from Cognitive with the Nazebo and the Zagara. And then Illidan, of course, can come in when people get low. So do you think that we will at least initially be seeing Cognitive really take charge of those?
I'm a little undecided in terms of exactly how many they're going to dedicate to it. We actually do have the entire middle lane right now of Cognitive going for those bruisers, so they've really accelerated that. Silo is now going to be shoving off, and well, I gotta say, this couldn't have been better for Cognitive. They got so many people up there. Glaurung is off doing these bruisers, so it's up to Luminosity to kind of respond to this, and I'm not entirely too sure they're going to have what it takes.
Yeah, we've got Goku up here. The rest are cycling in. Illidan is still working on those bruisers, so he's not here. And we're going to start the channel by Goat. A very great job by Boss Plus holding on, getting those roaches to attack him. And yeah, Goat's going to be able to pick up the tribute, no problem.
Yeah, so Nazebo didn't come up, and nobody dared touch Goat. So, all right, that's going to be that. So, no poke and soak. It's just going to be a very quick tribute into the pocket now of Luminosity. But again, they got bruisers mid. Goku's still trying to really deal with this top lane. And, well, he's going to shove off against Shot. But that mid is really starting to get a lot of attention. In fact, now you see the rotation coming up. Goku's already used out that Wraith block, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's right there. As we've got rotation up, so 4 people here. And we're going to see the Muradin go back into the mid, making sure that he can soak. But now a big push. They want to be able to take out this last tower here. Finally, Goku with the Abathur symbiote was actually doing a very admirable job of dealing with a 2v1, and he actually might be taking out Shot here.
Iakona with that clutch shield's going to be all right. Glaurung actually going to be a little bit low, but we don't have any stuns to kind of put him in his place. So level 7 is going to come in. Cognitive with that extra siege damage has edged him out just a little bit. You see the endless creep coming in, Gidbin, as well as the Stormbolt build. Once more, Mirrodin has just been absolutely on fire with that this weekend.
Now Cog have picked up their level 7 talents too. They've also pushed off Goku, who was going after their structures, turning the push a little bit, but we have a second tribute spawning.
All right, so second tribute is going to be into the bottom. We do got level 7 on both sides, and Shake It Off coming in after the Mending Serpents for Lili. And, you know, this is going to get, Abathur got picked off. That is going to hurt for Luminosity.
No symbiote here, no adrenal overload today. We do have the blinds on Glaurung and Itakura, but now Itakura is starting to channel this. Can Bazhenov get back in? He will be able to get a condemn once again. Glaurung is getting so incredibly low here. Goku and Matcha trying desperately to pick him up, and Illidan falls down. Goku, though, is low. Abathur Carapace will be able to save him for now.
Yeah, where's the Rhaegar when you needed him? You saw Glaurung at the very last second try to duck in through that gate, but that little bit of extra ducking in is not running away, and that was the only thing keeping him from death at that point. So Luminosity, you know, very quick first tribute, nice second one, but the space was created. Shot has been pushing in. I'm not entirely confident he's going to get that fort, and they already took out those towers, so by the end of it, I got to say Luminosity came out ahead of that one.
Yeah, it would have been better if they had gotten a lot more damage on the fort, but Abathur was up there whenever he possibly could with the symbiote, trying to push back Cognitive and delay as long as he possibly could. Level 7 on both sides, and look at this, guys. Luminosity starting to take the lead once again in this poll. Don't forget, you can still vote. Use the hashtag HeroesWC and a hashtag with what the team name of whoever you think will take this final game.
I think I got to bring some maple syrup for the viewers right there. They're channeling their Canada. Luminosity at 61% is unprecedented, but you know, they might have those 2 tributes. They're still showing that experience, and that level 10 means that we might actually have to give up those at least one next tribute so that we can catch up and get the next talent tiers so that we equal them out for the power. But Cognitive, again, they're about to hit that 10. There's the tribute. I'm not entirely sure we're going to see Luminosity kind of contest this one.
Yeah, they've already got 2. They know that they don't have their heroic abilities. It would be very dangerous to go in there and try to contest when they haven't picked up their own heroic abilities. Speaking of those, we do have Devouring Maw, Metamorphosis, and Avatar so far. Still 2 waiting to be picked up. Itakura going to grab this. Leoric is at least in there, delaying as long as possible. If they can continue the delay, it looks like they won't be able to, but they would have liked to be able to until they could even back up with their heroic abilities.
All right, so yeah, first tribute, it's going to go their way. Shot and still into this top. He hasn't taken down that fort, but we do have a Ravenous now onto the board. And, well, we were really thinking about it. I was kind of curious if I should have called Jake back, because that Bloodlust was kind of on the mind there of Itakura, but by the end of it, no, can't release that healing, ancestral healing. It's just too good.
It really is, and it's absolutely necessary to when you've got that Illidan who could be so far forward. But we've got heroic abilities also on the side of Luminosity. They've got Strafe, yeah, the Jug of a Thousand Cups, the Blessed Shield, March of the Black King, and it looks like Abathur a little undecided here.
Are we going to push? We don't have a backdoor build. Are we going to go for clones? He's really undecided. Now this tribute is spawning top, which means that the next one, I believe, the third one here, or the 5th one actually, 4th one, I don't know, numbers, will actually be spawning into the bottom lane. So absolutely we're going to contest this.
Glaurung is contesting now, went on to Matra, but is going to have to kind of rotate back around into the fight. Meanwhile, Bazhenov fairly low. Shot trying to get back a bit as the strafe went down. I don't think Devouring Maw caught anybody in there, but the Ravenous Spirit is in on top of the tribute, starting to deal a lot of work. Ancestral Healing goes down on Glaurung. Everybody from Luminosity getting pushed back by the Ravenous Spirit, and Leoric is the one who will fall.
Yeah, it's just, we had to scatter to the wind. Lili, by the end of it, was able to sip some of her own tea, and she was restored to health and almost taking out the Johanna as well. Still, a fight is a fight, and that actually came out on top. With Cognitive, they had to throw all their ultimates on top of it, but if you also notice, just before that fight, the snap decision, we have a monstrosity pushing that bottom lane.
Yeah, we do. I think realizing that all they can do is at least stall through those tribute fights, and while they do that, get a good push going in a lane far away with the monstrosity. And it does force Cognitive, even if they win something. Oh, Hospital might go down here as he's got to get away from that monstrosity. It can really do a lot more damage than you're thinking it's going to.
Yeah, but it got hit by the frost shots there of that fort, so that's really what kept Nazebo going, and now Glaurung, he's just going to chase away the competition, but we are setting up, oh, this could be a fantastic pickup. Shot is going to go down 27 seconds. I don't think that's enough to really upset this next tribute, and that's the money tribute. This is going to be a curse either way, and if you go into it 4v5, Cognitive's not going to have a very good time of it, but I don't quite think the timing's going to line up.
Right, and Cognitive are ahead in experience just slightly, so Luminosity are really looking to try to make sure that they catch back up to that talent so that they are not down a talent tier and trying to engage into that tribute fight. So we see them spreading back out immediately to all of the lanes, because of that. Meanwhile, Cognitive now have Zagara back up, so they're also just continuing to lane. And look, there it is. The tribute is about to spawn.
Yeah, it's level 13. Zagara's back on the map. Now, this is fantastic positioning for Luminosity because it's on their side. They knew it was going to be this bottom lane. And 2-3 members of Cognitive are actually top. Are they just going to trade this out for a boss and call it a day?
It looks like they are. They're saying that positioning is not favorable to us. We're going after the boss, but Leoric is going to recognize that the rest of the team is rotating up here. Cognitive have to take this out and fast.
Yeah, Goku's right there. You're not going to be able to get him off that point anytime soon. March of the Black King. He knows that you can't leave that point. We do got a Mods trying to force off that Goku, but he's still on the edge of it. Oh, we got the strafe going down. Here comes Glowing as well, but he's already low hit points. Ancestral will keep him up. Leoric is actually going to go down. We still don't have anybody taking this boss as of yet. Boss is on top of it. Now he's out, and that is going to be the boss. And all of a sudden, Luminosity picking up the curse. They're going to get nothing done with it.
Yeah, they can't do anything with this now. 3 members down. Goat is going to have to run through. This is going to be difficult to try to get away from it. In fact, I don't think it's possible.
Nope.
She will fall as well. Now 4 for nothing in favor of Cognitive, and Cog grabbed the boss.
It is pixely impossible to actually run away from an Illidan.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yep. So absolutely the wrong call, as Luminosity should have just given up that boss, because now during their curse, they're the ones to be losing out these forts.
Right, and they've now got the experience lead. They went from a very, very close experience lead to jumping ahead a full level and a half. They've picked up, looks like we've got several 13 talents, and this boss is still going. What do you notice from the talents? Anything interesting?
Coming into it, I mean, level 13's a little bit more defensive from both sides. We do got that battle build Abathur. There's nothing funky right here. No Mule at the level 7 is going to be the Needle Spine there as well. But Burning Rages, we got some spell shields going back and forth. Thing of the Deep has become the actual thing for our Nazebos these days. So that range is absolutely monstrous. Of course, you know, we have the Ravenous to go with it as well. You can throw your abilities from afar. Well, just means you can set up for that Ravenous stat much farther away. And now the level 16s for Cognitive as well. They're feeling very powerful.
They really are. Luminosity, now it's much difficult. Well, it's very
Lily?
difficult because they've just lost their healer.
How?
And they're down. They don't have their level 16 talents, which we just saw Cog pick up. So they're going to get a second boss off of that.
So, wait, Cognitive was all bottom. Did Lily die to the boss top or something? I don't know, but she absolutely dropped right there. Goku, now he just actually threw down that March of the King, and now Gloring, he's looking for this retaliation, but still, the space is going to be absolutely created here because this fort is donezo. Level 16 to 15, Cognitive still has that huge advantage, and by the end of this, Gloring, he's just going to even go and deny these bruisers, and if he can do that, the timing should actually line up for that tribute, which means it's going to be a curse for Cog.
Buddy, you've got to get out of here. He's not going to be able to do so. Strafe comes down, and Luminosity, once again, we're going to see them just go ahead and nab a mercenary camp that Illidan had started on, but they did lose Illidan, so that's a little bit unfortunate. They still have the boss. This has not been cleared up. It's still pushing on these structures, but at least the bruisers were picked up. Luminosity realizing that Illidan, that was probably where he was going to go next.
Well, the 12-minute boss, unfortunately, not enough to take a tower, but it did clear out that bottom fort areas. So, you know, by the end of it, looks like a little bit of a longer pause between the tributes than I actually anticipated. I think Illidan's going to be absolutely fine in order for this tribute. Yeah, there it is. It's going to be up in 12. He'll be up in 7. It's on their side in the top, which Cog Hospital here is absolutely just trying to wreck right now. But I got to say, Luminosity, they only knew that Illidan was there because he hit an Abathur Toxic Mine, and that revealed him. So like, oh yeah, he's totally right there. And they took it. And by the end of it, will this actually be a Cog fight right here?
Well, we've got Illidan. He's not quite here yet, and this is a bit of a choke point, so it's kind of difficult to engage into. They may just go ahead, yeah. Luminosity are just going to pick up that tribute, but Cognitive, they're completely fine with this. They know that at any point they can still grab it. They are not on the back foot at all for a curse, and it's such a great feeling to have, knowing that you got both of the bosses, and at any point when you can get a tribute, you're going to have a curse on top of it.
All right, so level 17 to 16, we're about to +1 both sides right there, but we do got all the talents, and it's double blood for blood. There's Leaping Spiders, Stone Form, and of course our double Mutalisks coming in there from Luminosity. So, sorry, for Cognitive, my mistake. So Cognitive, you know, they're feeling great. Luminosity have their 16s there as well. Double imposing presence, would you believe?
Wow, imposing presence on both Leoric and Johanna. They're trying so desperately to slow down this Illidan. And I have to say, I love Cognitive right here. They're saying, okay, yes, we lost with the Illidan, but we still feel confident enough that we can win with him.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Silo just saying, nope, boss. Now I'm just going to leave you in the dust. Here comes the Avatar. Shrink Ray is going to just put him right back down. Glorion's going on top of Matre. If they can take down the Lily, the heals are going to be stuffed, and that's going to be a missed maw. That's going to be that demonic form now coming into it as well. They're really trying to take down this little Lily. There comes the big jump, but the stun does not connect. The heals will be all right, but Iakona, he's not looking so hot there either. Goku is now going to be a big target that we throw down the Ancestral. Glorion's going to stay alive on the back of that, and Goat is actually going to drop to the Ravenous, and the Ravenous is now chasing away the rest of Luminosity as well.
Oh, and now it looks like we've got a body block. Boss Plus could not get out, and it was just enough time to secure that takedown as well. I loved the response to wait until the Jug of 1,000 Cups was done to throw out that spirit, the Ravenous spirit, on top of all of the members because there were no heals there, and they've got tons of takedowns on top of that. Glaurung feeling pretty confident here.
Yeah, Matre, I mean, he's basically the only defender right now. Like, the security guard is going to be coming back. Love Babel forever for that phrase. But here comes Goku now. But remember, bottom lane had a big creep wave. They had their Siege Giants down there. Glaurung and crew into this top. This is how you push with a curse, ladies and gentlemen. Luminosity didn't get anything done with this since they were all dead in the dust. But this round, level 20, Cognitive, they're pushing in. They got keeps. They got 2 keeps out of it. Level 20s as well. And they're basically looking to secure this win so they can crush the dreams of Luminosity.
They're backing off to pick up this boss, which will run straight to core as the rest of the team just trying to deal with the aftermath of this curse. They've gone ahead and grabbed their Storm Tier talents, and we have Fury of the Storm for Zagara, as well as Annihilating Spirit for that Ravenous Spirit, the demonic form, and then 2 rewinds. Pretty confident picks there for Cog.
Well, I mean, they're 2 levels up. They just came off of a curse. They got only the 1 keep, not 2. Well, that bottom has just got to be hurting now. Hosty, he's going to go look for that split push, but geez, like, Luminosity Gaming, they're on the ropes. They're a full level from 20, Gilly.
They really are, and this is a boss and 5 full members up. All of their heroic abilities are there, and now here comes well, Cognitive were, but the blind has pushed them off for now, but it's not going to be forever. They're still moving in here. The boss slam, they've got to get away from it. Luminosity trying desperately to defend here, but it's going to be so hard without those Storm Tier talents.
Glorion just going for the core. He's just leaving everyone with the dust. He's going for the core. He's trying to take out as much shield as he can for this boss into the bag. You know, big team fight shot. He has to get that Ancestral. The rest of Luminosity like, oh yeah, Glorion's out of the core. We're into the permanent damage, 70% and falling. This actually could be GG, 50% and falling. I think Luminosity is going to finally actually just bow out, and 0%. They just cannot win anything today. First they get hit by storms, and now through a whirlwind of games, Cognitive has taken down Luminosity.
But man, they put up a fight versus Cog. Cog was really on the ropes, and they are the number 3 team widely regarded in North America. So really great showing by Luminosity. Fantastic, especially with the fact that they did have to deal with, you know, maybe being a little bit frustrated with having to forfeit that match. But Jake, what did you think about that last game?
You know, the Illidan proved me wrong. I hate to admit it when I'm wrong, but it worked out in that game. And I actually just want to take a look at one of the moments in which it was a big turnaround point, where Cognitive really had that big momentum swing in their favor. It all started with a boss. Let's take a look at the replay here. Now, this is the moment in which we did have, again, Glaurung working on the boss, but Luminosity attempted to contest it. You can see this big drawn-out fight, how long they're trying to capture this, the Maw buying time, denying the steal of this boss pickup, but the Ravenous Spirit in the backline is just doing way too much damage. The Ancestral keeping Glaurung topped off, allowing him to do his janitorial duties, eliminating his foes, and it's going to end up being a 4-0. Just Vala trying to escape, but ultimately she does go down. Here on out, I mean, it's a 1.5 level lead pretty much after that point in time. They get the curse, they just push it in with the end. That final boss, they just couldn't stop it.
So we had 2 picks of Illidan today that got through bans. There's multiple Illidan bans. 1 win, 1 loss. You still on the fence about it?
It's so... I can't see why he would be any better. He received no buffs. I'm not sold on it yet, but you know what? With a player like Glaurung driving the hero, I'm okay with it.
Fair. All right. Kelly?
He did a fantastic job with him. The second game was a bit dicey, but yeah, he really is showing us that awesome Illidan play.
All right, so we're talking a lot about Glorong and his awesome Illidan play. I mean, in their video, they said he was kind of the best Zeratul world. Let's just talk to the player himself, because we're going to talk now to Glorong. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, Glorong, Mr. Michael Fisk. We talked a little bit this past week on Town Hall, and you said you had one goal in this tournament: to deny the dreams of all the nerds attempting to qualify for regionals. Do you feel successful after this takedown?
Absolutely not. Today, we haven't played our best, and I'm hoping we can make a good run back in the losers bracket.
You know, looking at the history of Cognitive, I would have to say that you guys tend to perform better when you're on the fence. Would you say this is true?
Absolutely. Almost every tournament we've played in, we've lost to round 1 and made it to losers finalists, things like that. I don't know why.
You're like that kid studying for exams that just doesn't want to do it, and then the night before, it's like, all right, well, we got to make it happen. Let's go. So far, that seems to be the way of Cognitive. Now, I need to ask you about Illidan. I'm not really sold on him yet. Why do you think suddenly he's once again viable?
I think Illidan's always had the strongest kit in the game. And if you can play him properly, he does more damage than a tank and has way more survivability. So he's just one of the overall strongest heroes in the game.
Well,
it's just he's really hard to execute.
So high risk but high reward.
Absolutely.
Moving in tomorrow, you guys are in the lower bracket. The competition is already incredibly fierce. You guys have Complexity down there with you. Are you guys preparing specifically for teams like that?
I'm excited for that match. Hopefully we play a lot better than we have been.
Okay.
And give a good showing to the fans. I think we'll do good, though.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll let you rest up. I know you've had a long day of games. Get ready for tomorrow because, well, we'll see you then.
All right. You guys have a good time.
Oh, we always have a good time here at Glorong because we get to watch great plays, great players, and of course, great games. This has been a fantastic day number 1, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? We talked a little bit about, what for them to expect tomorrow, the brackets, and it's been a while since we checked in. So the man with the plan is going to be the Kubi. Let's take a quick look at the update.
That's right. Thank you, Jester. So we have seen quite a bit of progress in this bracket since we started out earlier today. Tempo Storm and Cloud9 finding themselves in the winner bracket once more. They are setting themselves up very well to get that top 2 spot in the event. Now, if that does happen, that means that they are going to be occupying those spots that we would be giving out for the America's Championship. So we're going to be looking at this lower bracket. Which of these teams are going to be moving forward to get into those spots? Now, it could be a possibility for a 5th place team to actually move forward. So there's a lot more riding on these games than would like to believe just looking at this. But of course, these teams want to be moving forward. And again, the team that moves through the lower bracket finals has to take 2 series off of the upper bracket champion. And that's all going to be happening tomorrow. Back to the desk.
Kubi, you're definitely a delight on the eyes, but I gotta say, Gilly, that winner's final looks very familiar. 3 tournaments in a row.
Always Tempo Storm and Cloud9. Always.
3 for 3.
I'm wondering, though, maybe we would see a little bit of a different outcome than we've seen in the past Opens.
I'm telling you, all they have to do is all these other teams need to incorporate a cloud into their logo in some way, shape, or form, and they'll see greater success. I mean, it'll help them rise to the clouds and be amongst the best.
The Tempo Storm Lightning Bolt, the Cloud9 clouds. What else could you do with that?
I have no idea.
So you're just telling them to do it, but you don't know.
They have to be creative if they want to be the best, right?
Well, can't really say anything about that, but we'll find out who is actually the best tomorrow, and tomorrow's schedule is something that we should probably tell you a little bit about. Right, Gilly?
Indeed, we shall. We've got Complexity versus Cognitive. That will be another elimination match that we just saw Glorong talk a little bit about. We're also going to have Kappa Wolves versus the Murloc Geniuses, and that's another elimination match. And then from there, we're going to have that Tempo Storm versus Cloud9, and that's just a few of the awesome games we're going to see tomorrow.
Yeah, those are the first 3 up. And remember, guys, that starts tomorrow morning, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Twitch TV. Jake, I mean, we've seen some heck of a lot of games today. What do you think for our, going forward? We have a potential 5th and 4th place to get into Vegas, you have any?
Yeah, it's tough because it's going to be Cognitive versus Complexity, and well, Cognitive they've already qualified, but Complexity they're so anxious to get that win. So honestly, I think that's one of the biggest matches. But we also have to look at the Kappa Wolves matchup. I mean, it's so crucial for those two teams to duke it out, see if they can advance forward because I believe it's Panda Global.
Panda Global is no more.
It's the Murloc.
Murlocs, yes. I'm the worst, but
rubbing my salt there a little bit. Yeah.
Amen.
All right, so my favorites of Panda are out. Luminosity, my Canadians are out. Gilly, who's your favorite?
I really want to see Murloc Geniuses get into the top 5.
All right, well, we'll have to see if these two nerds are right, ladies and gentlemen, because we are done for today. Thank you so much for joining us from all the cast and crew here, of course, Babel, as well as the Kubi. We will all be seeing you tomorrow morning. Remember, we got that contest going. You could win yourself some cards. We'll be announcing more of that tomorrow there for you. So on that note, have yourselves a wonderful night and keep it cool there in the Nexus. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Theodore joined the Tempo Storm family when we were couch shopping.
Theo the Donkey was one of the greatest investments Tempo Storm's made, and he's going to stick around for a long time. He pops in our streams. You see him watching us a lot in streams, and was about one of the best investments we could have had because he quickly showed to be a prominent analyst for our team, and that's helped us improve a lot.
He watches all the regions play, takes great notes.
Theo's the dream.